My name is Wanda Ball, and I am a resident of College Hill. I am currently living in the house that I grew up in, and so my brother and I are trying hard to maintain the family household, family residence. I became involved with CUFA around 3 years ago, and at that time I was going through my bills, and amazingly I got a knock on the door from a CUFA organizer who introduced herself and said she wanted to ask me one question, which was, are you satisfied with the high cost of your water bill? Well, at that time, I felt that I had an extremely high water bill, and being newly retired from the University of Cincinnati, I felt that I needed to start tracking how I was spending my money. And so I had just coincidentally looked at the water bill, and I noticed that my water usage was small, but my sewer usage was 2.5, almost 3 times what my water bill was. And it just amazed me how I could have such a high bill and there's only one person living here. So I invited her in and we had a conversation. And at that point, that was when I decided that this was something that I needed to protest. So that's how I became involved with CUFA. What I have learned is ugly. It is really, really ugly. There's an entity called the Metropolitan Sewer District, and their payment, their bill is listed as part of your water bill. I found out that there was, under the old MSD director, Mr. Parrott, that there was some misappropriation of money, it seems, to the tune of about $65 million that was unaccountable. And it looks like they were going to pass that cost on to us. And as a retiree, I'm already struggling to pay the water bill as it is. So it just began to make me question the system. So the involvement included going down to speak in front of the county commissioners on a regular basis. And my purpose in that was I wanted them to see that their decisions affected a real person. There are humans that are being impacted, and when they look at the data, I want them to see faces with that data and not just data. At the recent commissioners meeting that we had, that I went to, I found out that in the first half of 2017, the Cincinnati Waterworks cut off 4,000 people. 4,000 families or businesses were impacted by being shut off. And it is a presumption that part of the reason, or the major reason, was because they could not afford the water bill, which is more your sewer bill than your water usage. And that's just not acceptable. In November, Communities United for Action went and spoke to the commissioners, and we explained to them that we wanted a customer assistance program established, and we wanted it established quickly. And until they can establish the customer assistance program, we felt that they should issue a moratorium on cutting off people's water because they can't afford to pay the sewage. And that's a big deal. That was in November. We've gone back several times since then. There has been no moratorium. There has been no customer assistance program, and something has to be done. People need to come out to Communities United for Action, to the meetings. We need to mobilize large groups of people. There's power in secrets, and we need to let people know what's going on. People need to speak up and say how difficult it is for them to make these payments. We're about to hold hearings to let them know how we feel the importance of a customer assistance program is. And we need people there. We need people to show them that we're not just talking for a few, we're talking for a lot.